Hi, Liz. Hi, Jill. Hey, Gloria. You remembered. Hey, Susan. All right, it is 6:30. Hey, Molly. It's 6:30 on Tuesday, which means it's time for another episode of Tiger Stamp Club Live, where we make great cards. And I know I say it every time, but I have a really, really great, cute card for you tonight. I think you're going to really, really like, because I think it's so cute. Just quickly, there are a couple of happenings right now on in the Stampin' Up world. Bonus days began today, and bonus days for every $50 you spend on an order, they will email you a $5 coupon that you can redeem in February. So like if you spend $50 on an order before shipping and taxes, then they will email you after you complete that order a code. Now the only problem is you have to keep track of that. You have to keep track of it. So I just created a folder in my Outlook and called it bonus days, and those emails that I get, I just will zoom them over there. And then in February, you can spend, any of your coupons that you have. So that is now through February 2nd, and then beginning February 3rd through the end of February, you can spend your coupons. So that's always fun. Oh, look, that's upside down. And then they just released January's product of the month. And I have to confess something here. I went in and placed an order early this morning, and the website was very glitchy this morning. And so I would add something to my cart, and sometimes it would go in and sometimes it wouldn't, and it was just spinning. And I saying all that to say that I put in a qualifying order for this product of the month, but I forgot to add it to my cart. So you're saying, what is the product of the month? The product of the month is, it'll change every month. And last month in December, it was DSP. This month, it's a stamp set. But for us here in North America, for every $75 order that you place, $75 or more, you can purchase this product of the month for $5. And like I said, I had a $75 or more order this morning, and then I totally forgot to add this in. So if I decide to do another one, I'll just have to wait and see, because these are while supplies last. So it could sell out before I do another order. But this is a really great sentiment set, all occasion kind of sentiment set. It's called Fabulous Sayings. And again, it's $5 with qualifying order. And this says, "You're on my mind. Thank you. Happy birthday. Sending love. There are simply no words for this. To a fabulous friend, you can do anything. Hello, just because, hooray, and so much." And I really like this font. So some of the sentiments are in that fancy font, and some of them are in a standard font. So you can mix and match those. A really great item that only costs $5 with a $75 or more order. So I wanted to make you aware of that. Let me see. Forgot to grab my mini catalog because this went live this morning. The January to April mini catalog is now live, and that means we can now look inside. And I should have flagged the set that we're using today. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Too late, not quick enough. Maybe it's not in here. Oh, I think maybe maybe it's an online exclusive. I should have looked at that too before. This might be an online exclusive because I'm not seeing it, and I've already gone past oh, well, that's cool paper, but and look at this exploring nature, this DSP here. Can't wait to get that. Yeah, I guess it must be an online exclusive. I can never tell where anything is anymore. That's a quick look through the new mini catalog. So just know you can start ordering from this today, and have fun with that. So let's look at this really cute card. Hi, Yvette and Nancy. Glad that you're hopping on. Let's take a look at this really cute card that we're going to do tonight. I saw this. This is, of course, designed by one of the artisan designers. Those are the kind of cards I like to make. So those are usually the kind of cards I like to do with you guys here. But I saw this little kissing booth with these bears. I mean, I did not get this set right away because, you know, Valentine's. I've been married for 40 years this year in April. And, you know, we're past the cutesy phase. Maybe I shouldn't admit to that since my audience is mostly women here. Yeah, I'm going to give this card to my wife for Valentine's Day. And I am too. But anyway, I saw this cute kissing booth with these bears, and I thought, I have to make that. That's so cute. And so that's the card that we're going to do tonight. Oversharing. Here is the sets that we're going to use, the bundle that we're using tonight mainly. It's called Valentine Kisses, and it is a mixture of sentiments and images, which is the very best kind of stamp set that you can get because you have everything that you need to make a card. Sending lots of love your way to celebrate this special day. Happy Valentine's Day. Bear hugs and kisses and giving you a big smooch. And then you've got these cute little bears, a little teddy bear, some birdies, some flowers, a little jar. I think that's a jar. Oh, anyway. And then you have the corresponding dies to go with it. So you have these dies here that we build our kissing booth with. You have a little stitched heart here, shapes to cut out the 3 bear stamps, and then the other things as well. So super cute bundle. And like I said, I usually kind of just gloss over Valentine's Day. I don't know why, but I saw this card and I thought, that's too cute. I gotta do it. Hey, Nancy. Anyway, so that's where we're headed tonight with our cards. So I'm gonna bring over. Of course, I prepped a lot of stuff ahead of time. I'm going to bring over, oh, this is really messed up. I need to spend some time cleaning this up. So we're going to start with a card base of Real Red. And it is your normal size card base, which is 8 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then we have a 5 1/4 by 4 basic white panel to go on the inside. Let me just make sure that this is the right one because I've got lots of white going tonight. It is. So I like to go ahead and get this on the inside, and it's one piece that is quickly out of my way. So remember, if you comment during tonight's video, your name will go into a drawing to win this card that I'm making tonight. And this is a good one to win. It's super, super cute. And we're still in January, and February, Valentine's Day is not even yet. And so it'd be a good time to have this in your arsenal of who you want to send it to and all that. All right, there is that. Now I'm trying to decide how we should proceed. All right, let me talk to you. Also, I'm a little scattered here. Another reason why I really like this card is that I'm not using any special DSP. This is all cardstock. And we just made our own background. I don't know if you can tell that I've got this checked background behind the kissing booth and all that. And it looks all DSP-ish, but it's all cardstock. So I'm going to show you how to create this checkerboard panel. And I guess that's what I'm going to do now. And let's see. These are all these little pieces. I just don't want to lose any. I'm going to keep them right there. So I have a panel of basic white that is 4.5 by 5.5. 4.5 by 5.5, which is bigger than I need, but I want to cut it down. And so what I've done is I've cut strips of this pink cardstock. This happens to be Bubble Bath. I've cut 1/2-inch strips of Bubble Bath, and I have adhered them every 1/2 inch over. I skipped a 1/2 inch in between to create this striped background. All right. And now this is how I'm going to create my checkerboard background. So let me bring my trimmer over. So again, I made this panel 4.5 by 5.5. That way it would be even. You know, I wouldn't have like halfway strips. All right. And so now what I'm going to do is, now that I've got these adhered, I'm going to cut them into 1/2 inch strips this way. This will all make sense soon. So here's one. Half-inch strips. Oops, I didn't get that cut all that way. So let me make sure I do that. There we go. So again, I've placed Bubble Bath 1/2 inch strips across a panel of basic white, and now I'm cutting them into 1/2 inch strips the other direction. And this is kind of a fun technique. It's kind of like faux weaving. All right, I'm gonna save this one for a second. I'm gonna put all these strips over here. move my trimmer. I may need to cut that last one up, but we'll see. Okay, so now what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Now what I'm going to do is adhere this again to another basic white panel that's bigger than I need because I want to cut it down. So let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to adhere this. And now I'm going to take this one and adhere it next to it. But what I'm going to do, I didn't notice this. This didn't happen on the first time. But what I want to do is I want to offset the squares. So you can see that I create this pattern, and I think it's still going to work since that's white there, and we're going to trim off anyway. It's just not how I did it before, but it still works. So I'm just lining these up, and I'm offsetting the squares. So I'm creating this checkered background. Yvette, I'm excited you're coming to our in-person class. We have a lot of fun. We laugh. We laugh a lot. That's why I call it Laugh and Craft. You know, when you're doing anything, you might as well be laughing while you do it, right? You know, I play pickleball and I laugh just all the time. Just all the time. So anyway, I was saying, if you comment, then your name goes in a drawing to win the card that I'm making. And if you share tonight's video, then your name will go in twice. You'll have 2 chances to win. So, yes, I am going to cut this. I don't know why I didn't think I would need it, and I might not, because I can't remember exactly what size I need my panel to be. All right, that's going to be the last one. And let me see, what size did I cut this to be? Let me get my little ruler here because I can't remember exactly. So my panel on my example card is 3 3/4 by 5. 3 3/4 by 5. All right, let me trim this down. think I'll do the 5 first. It just takes a little extra work because you're cutting through multiple layers there. All right, and now 3 3/4. So let me see where that's going to hit. So that's going to hit, you see how that's going to hit not in the center of that stripe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat over 1/8. And then I'm going to cut on this side. Let me cut again. And then I'm going to turn it around, and then I can cut it 3 3/4. And then this edge and that edge should be pretty similar. Not exactly right, but close enough for government work. There we go. Now let me get this out of the way. And we've got our background for our card here. And then to add just a little interest, one of the dies is this little scalloped edge that we use for the kissing booth. But we're going to create a little scalloped edge on our background here. And I think I'm going to put this shorter side over here on this side. And now what I'm going to do is adhere this on the edge. I should use my little glue gun. Let's try that. I don't want a whole lot of glue here. I just want to make sure the right edge is facing forward. See how it creates that little scallop edge? And we just really don't need a whole lot of it showing. That looks good. All right, now I'm going to do this one. That looks good. And now I'm going to do this one. And I do have to trim a little bit, but that's fine. There we go. And see, you just got this little fancy edge to it that just adds a little something something to it. And now I'm just going to trim this off. There we go. And just going to clean up. A lot of this gets covered up, but you know me, it's my having on good clean underwear. If I know something's not looking good on the underneath everything, it bothers me. All right, but now this can go on our card front, and look how cute that is. And you see how this little scalloped edge just adds a little something to it, you know? And I'm just going to look at my card and make sure, yep, I don't need to do a ribbon or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this to the card front. There we go. Fancy, fancy, fancy. All right. Let me bring my card over here so I can look at it and see what we need to do next. All right, so next we have this piece of basic white, and it is 3 by 4 1/4. And we are going to fancy this up a little bit too. So let me move that out of the way. And the first thing that we're going to do is bring over our stylish shapes, and I'm going to cut, I think I used this second largest stitched circle. And we're going to create a panel here. I'm pretty sure that's it. It is now, anyway. So, first thing I'm going to do is bring over my cut and emboss machine. And then I'm going to run this through. Okay, that's good. I'm going to run this through. I'm going to have to turn it around because the handle's on the complete other side. Let's run this through now. And we've got an opening here in our panel. Now that I've done that, I'm going to emboss this panel with the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. So to do that, and when I'm lining this up, I don't know if you guys can see, but I want some of this brick detail to really show up on my panel. So I'm just deciding where to put this. Sorry, I know I'm off camera. There we go. All right, I'm going to run that through. Now, if you die cut something, if you need to die cut a piece and emboss it, you want to make sure you die cut first and then emboss, because if you emboss first and then die cut, when you run it through the die cut machine, it will press out some of your embossing. So let's see if we can see if we've got a lot of texture now. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is some really good interest and texture we have on our panel now. All right, so let's go ahead, and I got some goobers. I always get goobers when I'm working with white. And I'm going to use some edges. That should work. This is where the edges coming of your Stampin' Dimensionals come in handy. And then I'm just going to That's good. I think that's good. Bring our card back over. Getting a phone call, which kind of usually messes up my live. All right. All right. We've got that on there now. All right, let's talk about some of the other things that I've die cut. Here is the top of our kissing booth, and here is the bottom, and I've die cut this out of crumb cake. And just to add a little bit of interest to it, I'm going to bring over my blending brush, move this out of the way, and some pecan pie. And I'm just going to add some dimension to this die cut, just so it's not so flat. And then we'll do also some here on the top of our booth, just to give it a little bit of variation in color. There we go. Now let me clean up that ink. There we go. And I'm going to dry it off here. All right. So you can see that makes that not flat. I don't need to say it again. It is now not flat. All right, so now I'm going to adhere this. Here's the same little scallop that we used on our front piece, but now we're going to use it for what it's really meant to do. And I'm going to adhere it to the front of our booth here. If I can get it not to stick to my fingers. There we go. And then I've got another one that we're going to adhere behind the top part. So it's like a little curtain. And of course, we're going to have to trim. All right, so that's what that's going to do. So let me put a little adhesive here. A little adhesive there, that should do it. There we go. And we're going to just trim. Here, I better look from the front and trim. Oh, guys, if you haven't seen the movie Song Sung Blue, it's about a couple that did Neil Diamond impersonating. He was a Neil Diamond impersonator, and she sang too, and they formed this act. And it's based on a true story. They kind of Hollywoodized it up, but we went and saw that this weekend, and it was so good. It's the best movie I've seen in a while. You know, there haven't been a lot of great, fun movies to go see. All right. So there's that. We're going to wait to put that together. Now let's bring over our bears. Now I've already stamped them and die cut them. So this is the little one that is behind the booth. And this is the one that is waiting to smooch, I guess. And so we're going to color this using blends markers, and I'm using the natural tone ones. And so how I do this, everybody kind of does it differently, but I use the lighter color that I'm going to use, and I tend to color everything in the lighter color. So very quickly, I'm just going to add ink with my blends markers. These blends make it so easy to color. I don't know why I'm going around his muzzle, because I'm going to color that too. Oh, I colored the highlight. I didn't mean to color the highlight on his nose. Oh well. All right, so now that I've got that wholly covered in the light color, I'm going to go in and just add some shading. And so I want his ears to be a little darker. I want his forehead to be a little, or I think this is the girl bear, I don't know. I want the forehead to be a little darker. And maybe this side, a little bit of shading here. Notice I'm not really coloring a whole lot. I'm just adding a little bit of ink. All right, now that I've added a little bit of ink, I don't know if you can see that, but I colored the whole thing in the lighter color. I went in and added spots of dark. Now I'm going to go back in with my lighter color and just kind of move that dark color around and blend. That's why these are called blends markers. And then that gives you some variation in color. So again, things don't just look one color. Hardly anything in nature is one color. All right? There we go. And there we've got her done. Now I'm going to do the same thing to him. So I'm going to, again, with my lighter color, just come in and color everything with the lighter color. Here, maybe I can move my, hold on, I'm gonna move my camera down so you can see a little bit better. Just somebody remind me to move it back up. I don't know if that's better. I'll see here in a minute. So I'm just coloring everything in this lighter color. All right. Now I'm going to come in and add some darker areas. And when I do this, I'm just putting, ink down where I think there might be shadows. All right. So that doesn't look like much yet. I colored in the lighter, I added some dark, and now I'm going to go blend, go back to my lighter color, and push that dark around and blend. These bears are the cutest. There we go. So let's see if you can see what that really looks like. See the variation in color? It looks more like fur that way, you know what I mean? As opposed to just being brown. All right, we've got our bears made. All right, so let's put together our booth. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just add some glue to the back of this, because most of this is overlapping our white panel right here. Oops, let me come up just a little bit, maybe. If I can loosen everything. All right. Is that super crooked? Let me fix my light. All right. Bad idea. I hate it when it's crooked, but anyway, may have to live with it. All right. So this panel's already popped up, and so I'm just going to... Okay, I think we're back. And then for this piece, we do need to pop this up a bit. So what I'm going to do is grab some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And can you see the holes where the hearts are? I'm going to actually die cut this piece again in red just so I can get those hearts, and we're going to inlay those. So what I'm going to do is, every place there's a heart, I'm going to put a dimensional there. And then that's going to help me with my inlaying of these hearts. And I just noticed that one is not poked out. So let me poke that out right there. Put one there. And I don't think I'm going to worry about putting them on the sides here. I just may slip that back there like take off the backings. All right. This is going to go, we want it to come down a little bit. Something like that. Now that we've got that on there, we can I'm going to add a little dimensional to the back of the kissing bear. Right? And then this guy is going to go here. And everything popped up behind him, so I'm just going to add some glue right around here. There we go. Aren't they cute? All right. Here's another little piece right here that is die cut, a little stitched heart. And we are going to put that kind of just right there between them. So I'm going to do that with a dimensional. I think. Maybe I'll put the dimensional there. That way I know it's in the right spot. And then see if I can get this situated between them. All right. There's that. All right. Got that, got that. My booth is a little crooked. Oh, well, I'll fix it. All right. Let's do the heart thing again. So let me move some stuff out of my way, bring it back over my cut and emboss machine. All right, we need 1, 2, and my magnetic and my acrylic. And then the die we're going to use is, oops, I dropped it, sorry. The die I'm going to use is this, the top of our kissing booth. And I really just care about these little hearts. So I'm just going to make sure that the hearts are in there. And the reason why I didn't cut them out beforehand is I didn't want to keep track of these 5 little hearts. I don't want to keep track of them when I'm cutting them out just now either. All right, see if I can make sure that they stay here on my mat. All right, so there's one, there's two, and these three are right here. All right, so right now they're all on my mat. I'm gonna have to do this again here in a second. But I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this over, and then my take your pick tool, and I'm gonna grab this big heart and hopefully just inlay it. Now remember, we put Stampin' Dimensionals behind there, so I don't have to worry about the glue situation. And now I'm gonna fit this one in. And before you press down really hard, you just want to make sure it's in place. And you want to make sure it is face up. So yeah, this is a little fussy, but I think that little detail of adding these little hearts back in here really add to it. Where'd he go? There we go. One more. See, and he flipped over, so I have to make sure he's right side up. There we go. I know, it's very fussy, and I think I flipped him over again. All right. Look at those cute little hearts inlaid into the top of that booth. That just is so pleasing to me. All right. I've added some more little hearts. I did cut it again. I'm going to do that afterwards, so you don't have to watch me do that again, die cut it again. And I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of that. But just know that, see these little hearts before I send it to whoever wins the card tonight. All right. So, let me get this out of the way. Oh man, the phone is just going crazy and it's driving me crazy. So here is a little die that has a little hanging sign, but I stamped my sentiment in Versamark and heat set it with white embossed powder, and then just trimmed around it. And now I'm gonna just attach this little hanging piece. I'm gonna act like this is just a little hanging piece. I'm gonna attach it behind, and it's gonna be my little kissing sign that's gonna go up here, all right? So let me add a little glue there. Attach my kissing sign. I thought this would be a really cute card to send to a little one in your life, you know, giving you a big smooch. And we're gonna hang that right about like that. So let me put some more glue here. And now I'm going to grab a glue dot and we're going to add a little bow to it. If I can find it, there we go. So I'm going to put a little glue dot right there, maybe 2 of them. And then I've used some linen thread, and I also found some red baker's twine. I think it's baker's twine. Let me see. So here's the linen thread that, you know, we all use. And then in my stash, I found this red thread as well. And so what I did is I pulled out a strand of each, actually. And then I used my little bow tire and wrapped it around here. So now I've got a red and a linen thread bow. And I've already tied it because you guys know how my man fingers are tying bows. And I'm just going to spread the ends apart. To make it a fuller little bow. And then that's going to go right here on the corner. All right. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to add these 5 little extra little hearts around here to finish up this design. But what do you think? Aren't these bears the cutest? This little kissing booth set, I just love it. I just love it. I think it's so cool. And also, we didn't use any pattern paper. We created all our own stuff out of cardstock. So anyway, I thought this was super cute. I thought you guys needed to see it. And that little detail of creating our own little checkered background. I just think that's so fun. All right. So that's it. Let me remind you that we used the Valentine Kisses bundle to create this card. Valentine Kisses. Apparently it's an online exclusive, so if you go to that area of the store, you can find it. Remember, for every $50 you spend, you get a bonus code to $5 off bonus code. For every $75 you spend, you can, or no, if you spend one time, if you spend $75, you can order that product of the month for $5. All right, that's all the Stampin' Up stuff I know of right now. So remember, if you've commented tonight, I'm going to go here. I'm going to clean up a little bit right here. I'm going to go look at the comments, answer any questions you have, put your names in a drawing. For every comment, not for every comment. If you've commented, your name goes in. If you've shared, your name goes in twice. You just have to let me know that you've shared because Facebook doesn't always let me know who has shared. So if you have shared, then please say I've shared, and that way I'll get your name in twice. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Can you believe it is 2026? I can't. And I'm sure before we know it, we'll be saying it's 2027. Thanks for spending some time with me. I sure have had fun. And don't forget, I'm having class on the 24th. So let me know. You got to sign up by the 17th if you want to do an in-person class, my Laugh and Craft. Many of you have already let me know that you want to come. All right. That's it. I'll see y'all later. Now it's your turn to make a card and send it to somebody and make their day. Thanks for being here, guys. Bye.